playing in Wales. This match will take place at the Cardiff Stadium and it will be 6:45. That's the kick-off time. My name is Oreku Ampofo and we're bringing you the match live. Kickoff is 6:45. That is in about 30 minutes time, and so we'll be building up to the big one. Quite an important game for Ghana, who would be at the 2026 World Cup. This is potentially one of two games for new head coach Carlos Queiroz to test his squad that he hasn't really had a lot of time with after being announced as Ghana coach just a few weeks ago. For Wales and Craig Bellamy is more of redemption and a rebuild after they missed out on the World Cup, losing their playoff game as well. I'm in the studio with two very, very intelligent guys. They are on two sides of the spectrum, actually. There's Sami Bartels, who is very seasoned when it comes to sports journalism and has probably seen a lot of World Cups, a lot of pre-World Cups, and will be here to share his insights as well. And then there's the man himself, Augustine Ahemfo, who has been doing this with us, the Black Stars, since about a year ago, where we started showing you the games from the Black Stars as well. And so I'll be with these two gentlemen, but we'll be doing some live crossovers as well, just to get more perspectives from viewing centers here in Ghana, and then also in Wales, where we have Michael TJ on standby. Welcome, gentlemen. Let's quickly get into it. Sami, let me start with you. Yep. Very, very big game for Carlos Queiroz. He admits that, in fact, and I quote, he said, if he used to write a book at the end of his career, which he would remember this experience, the fact being that he took a job that the first time that he had a full complement of his squad was when he was playing a friendly game against Wales, so the night before. And so this is coming from a man who has coached for more than 30 years, Manchester United, Portugal, and Ghana already has an assurance that will be in his book. Just how unique is the situation right now?
It's extremely unique because of what is at stake in games. Typically, people get the opportunity to play at least one friendly, even if they find themselves in a situation which allows them the opportunity to size up players before they name their list. In the wee hours of last night, the list was dropped. So you've passed the guys. Now you're going to examine them. Now, how does that work out? Now, that's just how unique his situation is. And based on what we've learned from what happened with Brazil when they played against Panama, he gets the opportunity to test the formation I'm sure he's stuck on trying to use, putting the players in a competitive match. He gets to test the temerity of his players against a certain level of opposition. So today, it's all guns blazing. All his data people will be at work. Everybody will be at work. And that's just how high stakes this is. And for Ghanaians, it's an opportunity to determine whether the decision to replace our coach at the 11th hour is worth the gamble and whether this team is worth backing. So this is an audition for the team and indeed for the coach in terms of the confidence that Ghanaians will have in him going into the World Cup.
And so there you can see shots of the Black Stars players going through the usual warm-ups ahead of kickoff time, which is just about 30 minutes away. Augustine, I mean, we barely see this in world football. You name your World Cup squad around 11 p.m. and in less than 24 hours, you're playing a game. I'm sure the players knew whoever was going, and it was never really an issue.
Oreku, are you making reference to the coach or are you making an inference on the situation? Because I don't know if the coach is going to write the book and Ghana will be in that book.
Yeah. I mean, the experience that he's had so far.
The question I want to ask is that, was he aware on the days that the players are going to report to camp?
So to his defense, he said that some clubs were stubborn. And it wasn't their fault. He understands it's modern football. So, for instance, Saint-Etienne had to play against OGC Nice in the relegation playoffs up until 29th
It's got nothing to do with some clubs being stubborn. The programs were there. Saint-Etienne were in the playoff.
Yeah.
And then we had 1st of June to name our squad.
Yeah.
So what stopped him from naming the squad way before? But the Saint-Etienne match has got no effect on whatever the situation is. They were in a playoff. I watched both games somewhere last week. They finished almost immediately. The players reported to camp. Yeah. So obviously he knew that the players would be late.
And also some of them deserved rest.
Of course.
After the season.
That's why I'm saying that. Was he aware? Did he have conferences with them to know that, okay, so we are beginning camp in Wales on this day. Coach, I'll be able to report on this day. He agreed, and then they reported. So who is to be blamed here?
think, yeah, the whole situation is a bit difficult here because, I mean, then again, I understand that you want to have your players in quickly as well, but you also want to take it easy because someone like Semenyo has played, probably close to 50, 60
It is normal.
games.
Some of the players were even allowed to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess the dynamic, and I think, not much premium was put on Ghana's 55-man squad. But when you look at the dynamics of replacing players, obviously can come only out of a 55-man squad. So we know some other people were in contention.
Was Kudus in the 55?
Yes. Kudus was,
Are you sure?
Out of
Yes.
the abundance of
Have you checked the list?
the provision.
The 55-man squad. Was he in there?
From what I heard.
So from what you heard,
So, and there's that as well. But I would say that, and I know we'll get into the details of the squad. Yeah. When the FA released the statements about the squad, there are certain words they use relating to data, etc., which is supposed to have informed the coach's selection, that you would think it's a balance between every video they may have watched, every stat, and these days it's very stat heavy, and basically what he may have seen on first impression. But the squad would generally mostly have been generated based on the data that the coach would have had access to and the videos that they would have watched. And unfortunately, we find ourselves in this tricky situation because how does a player approach a friendly like this? We've seen what's happened. There's a long injury list of players. Do you go in hard because you want a starting position and risk being in that Kamenko situation in 2014 when we played against the Netherlands? And he got injured and missed his place. You go in hard or you go in measured because you actually want to play in the World Cup. That's, and how do you impress the coach without going in 100%? And that's what's at stake here. And God forbid we have injuries at crucial places because our team has already been decimated. Yeah. We've lost status because of injury. And that's a quandary the coach and the players will find themselves in going into this match.
If there's an injury today, hopefully I think we'll be able to replace before the first game.
It's not about the replacement, it's the cost. Because you already have a rubbish squad. If you lose any more, potentially the players who would have started, it just throws things out of gear a bit. And that's what you face going into this.
But as footballers, I don't think they are going to go in half-half. Let's say 50-50.
You always want to give
because you can also get yourself injured whilst you don't go in. So at the end of the day, it's going to be about the format, the system to push the players forward. And that is most important. It doesn't really matter if you named the squad last night at 12 midnight and then we are playing today. It's neither here nor there.
You're naming the squad American time.
Coaches are fired within a day or two. Somebody takes over and the person gets results. And so he's had the opportunity to train with them, even though not a full complement of the team, but he's had the opportunity to train with them. And I don't think there should be any qualms or issues in the players he's going to select and exactly what he wants to implement.
But let
Thomas
me hear
Partey and the rest, I don't think they will play today.
Okay. I mean, let me hear your thoughts on the actual 26-man squad that was made. What do you make of it? Do you think that these are the best 26?
I think we've taken a bit of a risk in here with Nuama, for instance. He's a good player, but he just came back from injury. And me, I monitor the players a lot. Christopher Babonsu or whatever, who plays in Saudi, has played so well consistently in the league. I follow him. There are players that I've followed that did not have a look in, and I get a bit surprised. Somebody like Nicolas Opoku, for instance. He's played consistently for Kasim Pasha throughout the season. But we never looked at him. So if we want to talk about data, then we have to actually put everything out there for all of us to see.
But you see the data is not just about, for a coach who is looking to fit players into a formation, it's not just about who has played and how many minutes they have played.
What is he looking for?
You know, I'll give you a typical example. If you are looking to play transitions, you are looking for speedy players, which may explain the Nuama situation. You'll be looking at players who can play the kind of game you want to. So you would think, if the guy is fit, and I've seen what he's capable of doing, I'd rather take a bet. So
if you were the coach, where were you going to place Augustin Boachi? I want to ask a question because...
in the lineup?
Yes, in the lineup. Where are you going to play Augustin Boachi if you were the coach?
He's uncapped, but he's
uncapped?
He's uncapped.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's obviously one of the pseudo Kuduses you have in the team.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Are you sure?
you could play. A player you could play in a 10 position. We've seen him.
You know, I've heard
to the wide
I'm
positions.
somebody who doesn't really talk about the player select because I also played before.
Yeah.
But I've heard people refer him as almost being like Kudus. But he's not. I have intentionally watched him.
But he's a creative midfielder. Creative offensive midfielder.
In what sense? I wish that you go back and watch the 2 playoff matches they played against Nice. This is the immediate past matches that they played. I watched him play, and I'm trying to place him in our team, exactly where I would fit him. That is how you have to make analysis. I want to look at him. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I've heard people say that he more or less like Kudus. Kudus is a different ball player here.
Okay, so I get it. I think one of the things Ghanaians will have to get used to is to situate all our expectations and our analysis within the situation we find ourselves in. You have actually not seen this coach's team go onto the field. You are going to see this coach's team go onto the field. And a lot of questions will have to be answered. Exactly how he wants to use the players, whether he wants to play certain players out of position or deploy them. Everything is based on what we've seen at the club level or historically we've seen from these players. It is very possible the coach wants to mix it up a bit, and perhaps this game is what is going to show us. The other dynamic I see with this squad, everybody admits that this is perhaps one of the more inexperienced squads, if not the most inexperienced squad we've taken to the World Cup. When you look at the average caps in the squads that we have had since 2006, and the average squad goes up a bit probably because of the number of caps that Jordan has.
Yeah,
and it's an imbalance. But what you have here is players who were retained from the 2022 World Cup. They are not up to 10, right? Then, even amongst those, when you check the number of caps, you have Jordan, 100 plus, and then you have Partey and Rahman in their 50s, and then there's a steep drop. And then you have a squad of largely untested, inexperienced players, young, perhaps physical, with a lot of energy coming into this to mix. And the coach has had very little time to mix the squad. Those are the dynamics that you have. Now, let me explain something based on the transitions we've had. When you look at the transitions we've had from our World Cup squads, most successful World Cup squad is 2010. They retained 52% of the players who played in the 2006 World Cup. And when you look at the performance throughout, the highest turnover was 91%. When you look at the attrition rate for the 2002 team, and we saw how they performed. Typically, for any Ghanaian team that goes into tournaments, there's a certain core that you build around. Largely in this squad, you have untested players, so you wouldn't have the benefit of the high number of core, 10 to 15 players or more, that you would build around. So there's a lot of experimentation that we are going to see. And I'm hoping a lot of the questions get answered in this Wales game. Again, I set the expectation. We asked for this with a late appointment, and we have to be used to everything that we see. And just hope that whatever it is that he's been working on this boot camp with the players would have reached a point where the players will be able to exhibit this in the football match. Also because in this tournament, our final is really the Panama game. I wish it was a third game because you would want to warm up a bit before. So little margin for error going into the first match 2 weeks from now. And this is mainly the only test we get, apart from perhaps the game against Jamaica. So it's a tricky situation.
Yeah, but
and I think people have to manage their expectations.
Where we are currently, the players that we have, if you talk about the core of the team, we don't have the core of the team available. Do we?
No, we have
to some
a
extent,
few players, but they are not the usual core.
Because if you should compare to
you would have.
2006, 2000, the core of the team remained. The goalkeeper, the centre back, the only person out there was, let's say, Michael Essien and maybe Eric Adu. But most of the players were available. 2014, most were also there. And then 2018, we didn't qualify. 2022, there were new sets of players. Because the players that went to 2020, I think Dede Ayew. 2014 and 2022, it was
12 players
and Jordan. The last World Cup.
So in the 2022 World Cup, it was just the brothers, as he said, who were retained.
Yes,
that's how we had an over 90% attrition rate.
If you look, the day is out of the picture. Salisu is injured, Kudus is injured, Jiku is out.
There's no Koficha.
There's no Kovic, there's no Salis. The core of the team cannot be the basis of argument. The coach has come in, he selected the players.
Yeah.
Me, I support what he's done. But then if it does not go well, then we can criticize it. Because sitting where I'm sitting, there are some players that have to they should have looked at them also. I mean, if you are looking to have players who have tasted blasters before and you're going to a World Cup, you are not sure. You would prefer to bring somebody who has already been in the team before, like Joseph Penty, for instance. He's a player who has tasted the blasters before. Not players who are just coming in and today might probably be their first game for the Blasters and then the World Cup is next.
Well, speaking of first games, let's take a look at the starting 11 there. His first ever starting 11. First interesting talking point is that there's no Benjamin Asare, who has been Ghana's #1 for at least a considerable
Because we know
while.
him.
So
Others have to justify.
Are you sure that's the case?
It is what it is as we speak.
So is it
You
more
see,
of
we are not supposed to compare certain things. And that is what we normally do here. We want to compare the 2006 squad to current squad. We will not get the same. So currently what we have, Benjamin Asare is our number, whether we like it or not. So these ones who are playing today and the subsequent friendly matches or not, supposed to justify their inclusion into the team. Even though Atizigi was 2022 part of the team.
When you look through the board, Marvin has just 7 caps.
Yeah, I think Marvin, he just naturalized very recently. So.
7 caps.
For Ghana.
So Marvin is inexperienced. There's been a lot of question marks. When Otuado coached the team against Austria, Germany, there were some who felt that he deserved
to play,
to be seen, and he wasn't. So this is the big chance, right?
Yeah.
Going into this game. Gideon Mensah, we have seen, people have their doubts.
Yeah.
It will be clear to me that perhaps he would prefer Baba Rahman in that left back position. He wants to see Gideon Mensah. The discussion over which pair will play in our centre back, well, we've seen that he's pairing Jerome and Jonas Ajete. Actually, it was Jonas Ajete who has 7. And then you have Thomas
So you said
Partey.
Senna, I was confused when you said Senna.
No, I got it confused. So you have Partey, who does not need an audition.
Yeah.
25 games this season, 17 of them as a substitute. And I think the Partey matter is a special case. We saw Brazil play, and let me use the Brazil example. They started Gomares, and then they started our friend from Manchester United, and had a horrible first half until the second half when the younger players came in and dazzled. Panama actually had more possession than them. It's an opportunity. People are saying that Partey may not have the legs and may not have the engine to go the distance. At least if he's playing first half, coach gets to see the extent of what he's about. We also know that with the English FA, considering whether they'll shake his hands or not, he also has to be managed as far as the psychology.
Considering what?
Whether to shake his hands.
Who?
When they line up, the English FA.
Why?
That's
You know why?
You know why? Going to play.
You know why? And then you have Elisha Usu, who is one of those auditioning to pair
to justify
Thomas Partey, because I think Thomas Partey will be a starter. Then you have Kamal Din Suleiman, who is an enigma. Really.
He's still justifying his inclusion.
An enigma for Ghana, because for so long we've been saying he will come good. And when he transferred to Atalanta, most people felt, okay, this is the new guy. He's not really shown as much as he should. Fatau Isaku, if you take our players who are not in the top 5 leagues, was the best performer based on the statistics, the assist and the number of goals that he scored. So perhaps the coach wants to see him as well. Not because he really has to prove a point, we know what he's about, but how he will integrate into the system. And then you have Jordan Ayew, who as captain, I expect to be able to start. The question is which position that he will start. And Prince Edu Kobna, we saw him in those other 2 friendlies as well. And he did show what he was capable of, apart from the final touch, which is the goal scoring. So I'm not surprised, but what I would expect is that at some point for all the places, whether he does 10 changes or less, the coach will do changes to see what others have to offer.
I think each player should have 45 minutes, 30 minutes, even those on the bench. Unless, of course, they are a little bit down with injury or something. But everybody should get a look in this match.
Well, we're just about 15 minutes away from kickoff, the game between Wales and Ghana. It's a friendly game for the World Cup. Ghana will be at the World Cup. Wales won't be at the World Cup. And so it's a game serving 2 different interests for 2 countries who are at 2 different levels of where they want to be when it comes to their development as well. But just a reminder that our live coverage of the Wales versus Ghana friendly is proudly brought to you by Blue Jeans Energy Drink. Now that is our favorite energy drink that has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. It contains many vitamins and nutrients in it, like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans Energy Drink is for bold and active men and women. Now, Blue Jeans Energy Drink and remember that it's in shops nationwide, and you can also reach out to this contact for bulk purchase. Now, Budget Cash Carry Limited on 020-812-190 or 055-000-10000. Very quickly, we'll be heading into the first half of this game. We've seen the lineups, we've seen the training, we've seen the pre-match press conference from Carlos Queiroz. On a personal level, what's your expectation? What do you want to see from the Black Stars? Bearing in mind what we've seen previously from Otto when he was sacked, a new coach has been brought in. 2 weeks to the World Cup, what do you want to see? So
far, we've judged the coach based on the experience and all that he's done at other places. They want to see how he wants to play in tournament. We saw in 2010, Milovan Rajvac moved from anywhere from 4-4-2 to 4-3-3, depending on which game he was playing, but largely building from the back. I want to see exactly how, in practice, the team will line up. When I look at our defense, one of the questions I've been asking since John Mensah left and the dynamics within our team is the leadership at the back. I mean, Augustine, we speak a lot of times because you play football. You need leadership all over the field. In this new look back line, who would the leaders be? Who would bring confidence to the back? I want to see the body language and how players show their commitment. The coach says that the players are willing to die on the pitch, right? Because he's not promising results, but he says if they play to the best of their abilities and they die on the pitch, for him, he's satisfied. I want to see glimpses of that with the body language and also see the chemistry between the team. I've always wanted Thomas Partey to step up and join Jordan as the leaders of the team. I want to see how he dictates that with the players who are playing around him in the midfield. And the ultimate question for every Ghana national team in recent years, where would the goals come from? And again, I want to see how many chances we create, because it gives us a measure of our ability to score goals at this World Cup. It doesn't matter how well you play in big tournaments. If you don't have reliable sources of goals, you can't proceed to the next level. And really, that would be what I'll be looking at.
So, Augustine, we have Sami saying that he will be looking at the style of play, leadership, especially at the back, and then also where the goals will come from.
Exactly, the style of play. As a good coach and taking over for his first game for Ghana, I think how he's going to position, the format he's going to introduce, his system of play is what we are going to look at. Because the format is a static something on the field. Your system of play is what makes the team. So what system is he actually playing?
Yeah.
Is he going to put the players there and then have a system to suit the players that he's put there statically? I think these are the things that me, like a technical person, will be looking out for. And as for the likes of every coach wanting to play from the back, like he said, right back, can we start playing from the back? That is another question. Every coach now has picked what Pep Guardiola began as a coach. Whether there is space or no space, we want to play. Look at our last friendly game against Mexico. Asari wanted to play from the back the first 2 minutes. So these things are as very critical in this short time that he has it. Because we'll be playing luckily for us, we'll be playing on the 17th, our first game. So he has like 2 weeks to be able to inculcate what type of format he wants the players to use on the field of play, in the players. This comes with set pieces, all other things that makes a team. So he has a big task ahead of him. But I hope he'll be able to it's not about going there to die. If you die, you'll be gone. Nobody should die. You'll be gone, you can't play the next back. They have to go there with that zeal, with attitude. A German man with the Kämpfen, the fighting spirit, to be able to get to the next level. Nobody is supposed to die. We should go and die. We can't die.
Yeah.
But we have to be motivated to perform. Psychologically, mentally, and then also, as we can always say, let's pray for them.
Ghanaians are looking for a certain measure of certainty because he has to win them over.
Of course.
And with all respect to Otto, we are not looking for the coach to afterwards tell us that, well, this was a fufu match, so he used his fingers, and this was this. People want to see a plan, and hopefully we'll see that from Chaos.
It's just a friendly match, but we still want to see something out of this players.
Yeah.
We should have an identity today.
Definitely. That's one of the things that we'll be looking out for. And you can see how buzzing the Cardiff Stadium is. We're just a few minutes away from kickoff. I'll be showing you live the game between Wales and Ghana. But before we come to the score predictions, let's head straight to the Cardiff Stadium where Michael Otieje is currently stationed just to hear some thoughts ahead of kickoff.
Riku, as you can tell, not a lot of expectation. The stadium is not exactly full at the moment, but around the Cardiff City Stadium, a number of Ghanaian fans making their way into their stadium, as usual, breaking into the usual Ghanaian drama and all that. There are quite a number of Ghanaians who have come in here. Remember, for Ghana, this is major. The Black Stars have not won a game since they qualified for the World Cup. In 5 matches, the Black Stars are yet to win any one of them, and Coach Carlos Queiroz is determined to change that. Wales, on the other hand, didn't qualify for the World Cup. They've got to come here and show their fans that this is still a team they have to believe in. So this international challenge match is crucial in many ways for both sides, but even more important for Ghana. And maybe we can read a few minutes into Carlos Queiroz's lineup for the game. He's called up Lawrence Atizigi as the first choice goalkeeper for this one. Jonas Ajete plays in central defensive partnership alongside alongside a few other players, including Jerome Opoku. So 2 centre backs in that particular game.
And so we're just 5 minutes away from kickoff as Wales versus Ghana. But before we cross over live to the Cardiff Stadium, let me just quickly get the predictions of my gentlemen here. Sami Vatels and then Augustine Ahenfo. What it is, especially when you... Okay.
Yeah. But first half, for me, the KPI first half is not to concede.
Not to concede.
Yeah.
So no one know you'll be happy.
Yeah, I'll be happy with
Not
that.
to lose this
Not
match.
to lose.
At least to motivate the players going forward.
Okay.
Because for 5 matches, like Michael said, we've not won since we qualified. So at least we should not lose this match.
Okay. We're seeing, hopeful optimism here. It's like nobody really wants to comment, but no one wants to lose. But we'll be here to be doing the analysis, and we'll be crossing over to the Cardiff Stadium for the first half action of the game between Wales and Ghana.
Let's go. Come on, guys, let's go.
Please remain standing for the national anthem company. Sing it loud, sing it proud.
For the Black Stars, this time they are coming up against Wales with a few days to the start of the World Cup. This is a crucial one for the head coach, Carlos Queiroz, his first official game because he was not in charge of that game against Mexico. And Ghanaians are particularly interested in this one and how it goes because it will give them a sense of how the Black Stars will be playing under the new head coach. Limited time for Carlos Queiroz, so he's going with his trusted choose. 26 players have been selected. Unfortunately for the Portuguese manager, he has to do this without the likes of Mohamed Kudus, Alexander Jiku, and Salisu. But he still has been able to select men for the game. Ghana starting lineup: Lawrence Atizigi back in post for this one. Jerome Opoku, Jonas Ajete seem to be the trusted centre-back pair in here, with Marvin Senaya of Auxerre also starting as a right-back, and Gideon Mensah in there. Thomas Partey, who was not played enough games for Villarreal in recent times, is back together with Elisha Usu in the middle, and Fatai Shahaku, who had a brilliant season with the Leicester City also in there. Kamaldeen Sulemana has a lot to prove because he's been with the Black Stars for 6 years, and many are saying that he has to improve his performance. Prince Kwabena Edu, when Ghana played in that Carling Cup, he was one of the players that a lot of people talked about. His movement of the ball, and we saw that against Austria and Germany. He is also in there together with Jordan Ayew, who is the captain of the side. So pretty much a 3-4-3 formation from Carlos Queiroz, and it's going to be a pretty interesting one. For Wales, they didn't qualify for the World Cup. They were involved in the playoffs against Bosnia, and they were knocked out on penalties, but they have some very good players in their ranks as well, because they have the likes of Joe Rondon, Ethan Ampadu, formerly of Chelsea, Dan James, formerly of Manchester United, also in that. Today I'm doing this with Oreku Ampo. For my name is Mutale Akubo. Oreku, I mean, pretty much a straightforward lineup from Carlos Queiroz, but the three-back system, not too much of a usual from him.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you, and I'm really waiting to see the game start before I really am clear on what the system would look like. I suspect it could potentially be a 4-4-2 formation, especially with Jordan and Prince to do there, but I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt and see how things will look. But I think it will be Gideon left back, Senaya right back, Opoku Ajete, and then in midfield, Elisha, Perez, Partey, and on the wing, Fatao, Kamaldeen Sulemana. But let's see how the shape looks like when the
So game will be kicking off in a few minutes' time at the Cardiff City Stadium in Wales. Remember that Wales have not played an African side since 1998, where they were thrashed by 4-0 by Tunisia. And interestingly, Greg Bellamy, who is the coach of Wales, was involved in that game.
Yeah, I've been listening to Bellamy in the past few weeks. It's been a difficult time for him. trying to court belief in Wales after failing to qualify for the World Cup. And you can clearly see the attendance there showing that people are disappointed by not qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah, big one for them. Game would get underway in a few minutes' time. Ghana have lost all their 5 friendly games that they've played in recent times. Lost to Japan, lost to South Korea. Then we had a thrashing from Austria, lost to Germany, and recently Mexico also beating Ghana. Not looking good for us in terms of the friendly game. So this is a pretty good one. Game gets underway, ball back to goalkeeper Dallo, who goes long. Let's go up. Ball with Wales, trying to have a good start. Thomas gets onto the ball. Back to William. Thomas again, sends it across, but beautifully dealt with by the Black Stars. Jordan Ayew chases this one. Goalkeeper Dallo comes out and clears the ball. Good intention from Jordan Ayew not to give up. Trying to chase this one down. Coach Greg Bellamy, formerly of Liverpool, Manchester City, a legend as far as the Premier League is concerned, today is the head coach of the Wales national team. They didn't qualify for the World Cup, the Black Stars did. But then he says that this game would be a good preparatory one for them as far as the Nations League and the next Euro qualifiers are concerned. Wales trying to dictate the pace. Da Silva finds his goalkeeper Dallo, who finds Lalo, pushes the ball wide to Thomas, trying to go long. Gideon Mensah back in that left back position. You can clearly see that the intention from the Wales team is that straightforward.
Yeah, and with regards to Ghana's shape, as I did predict, it's not directly a 4-4-2. It looks more like a 4-2-3-1. Rather surprising that Prince Edu is in the number 10 position with Jordan leading the line, but I suspect they will be interchanging.
Of course, Wales coming forward again. Ball blocked by Jonas Ajete. Throw in to Wales. Thomas leaves the ball to Da Silva. Black Stars intercept this one again. Elisha trying to find Jordan, but then Ishaku loses out. Wales back in control. Rondon pushes the ball wide to Da Silva. But then Gideon Mensah with a strong tackle there. I think that the referee judged this as illegal, and it's a free kick to Wales. Gideon Mensah coming up against Dan James is going to be a very interesting one because James has a lot of pace.
Yeah, and it's really going to, I think, test his resilience. Daniel James is one of those traditional wingers who's going to make you really earn your money.
Of course, he was coming forward again, but the Black Stars clear this one. Gideon Mensah with the ball. Finds Thomas Partey, but he's dispossessed. Black Stars are yet to settle in this one, but it's a temporal hold up because it looks like Kamaldeen Sulemana got a knock in that challenge when Ethan Ampadu came in strongly. Kamaldeen Sulemana, another of those players who has a lot to prove.
Yeah, just one goal since making his debut for the Black Stars in 2019. I think the prospects were really high for him, and genuinely, there are still Ghanaians who believe that he would be able to reach the heights that were anticipated. But things need to kick off for him, especially in the Black Stars.
Legends in the stands. Michael Essien, 2006 World Cup, 2014, very instrumental. Then Stephen Appiah needs no introduction. Captain of the Black Stars in 2006. 2010, he was there in full. This time, he is part of the Black Stars management committee. All these legends in the camp trying to motivate the boys ahead of what could be a very, very interesting World Cup. Carlos Queiroz, I'm not sure he's really happy with what he's seen so far, but he'll be patient because the game just started. Dan James gets in behind the defense. But again, what a solid clearance from Jonas Ajete. He came under heavy criticism in the last friendly games that we played against Austria and Germany. And he also has a lot to prove, especially with the absence of Jiku and Salisu.
You're already seeing them, James, being the center of Wales' attention, really giving Gideon Mensah a headache there. Twice he's gone down the line and tried to put in a cross. And I think Wales have noticed that that could be a potential way of chance creation in this game.
Wales trying to dictate play early in this game. Gideon Mensah with Auxerre. 3 Auxerre players are in the starting lineup. They managed to survive and escape relegation. Long ball down the left to Jordan Bad. He was meters offside. Captain of the Black Stars playing his 3rd World Cup. Yet to get a goal in the World Cup.
Yeah, but he would be very confident, finishing as the 3rd top scorer in the CAF region and being Ghana's top scorer at the World Cup as well. I think that will definitely give him some confidence. And if you look at the situation that the Black Stars find themselves without a number of key players, I think he has to take responsibility, set pieces and penalties and all of that, and will definitely get his chance.
Great play by Marvin Senaya to buy his way out. To buy his way out of the Thomas Partey, formerly of Arsenal. Last season he was playing in Spain for Villarreal. Black Stars trying to build patiently from the back. And it looks like it's more of a flat 4-back system and not a 3-back that we initially thought.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was the type of system that Otto tried in his last few games in the friendly against Germany and then Austria. Though he initially he changed to a back 5 in the second half of that German game. But if you look at this squad and potentially what they do have, I think this is the best setup and brings the best out of the players available.
Well, one would argue that Antoine Semenyo definitely could be a starter as well. He's had a fine season with Manchester City in the Premier League. Scored about 16 goals and was even nominated for the Premier League Player of the Season. And that is a big one for him. Jonas Ajete goes back to Lawrence Atizigi. He tries to go long to locate Jordan with a beautiful control there. Jordan Ayew pushes the ball to the right. Fatah Issahaku casting onto his left and can unleash a powerful drive by Joe Rondon there with that block. Prince Kwabnedu. Prince Kwabnedu still on the ball, being pursued by 2 Wales players. Back to Gideon Mensah. Kamaldeen Sulemana finds Thomas Partey, who locates Elisha. Jerome Opoku. Black Stars trying to put the pieces together and see if they can draw out that back line. Kamaldeen Sulemana with the pass. But it looks like the weight behind that ball was too much for Fatah Issahaku. So far, Elisha, Thomas Partey seem to be building that connection.
Yeah, that's the best passage of play we've seen from the Black Stars, and it all came from Jordan's holder play from that long ball. That's what happens when your striker allows the ball to stick. It helps the team move up forward and get the opportunity to move bodies up front and create chances.
Of course. And that is what we love to see from the Black Stars. Goals, goals, goals. It's been dry in the last couple of games. Jordan, captain of the team, in there leading the lines. Leicester City, going down at the end of the season, and looks like Jordan could depart. Currently the oldest member in the team, very experienced, and we'll be looking at inspiring the Black Stars when we play our first game against Panama on June 17th. Wales putting passes together, ball with Rondon at the moment. Game at walking pace. He finds William, back to Rondon. Goes through the middle to Sheeman, but ball back to Rondon. Opens it up wide to William Dan James. Again, always a threat from the right-hand side. Brought down, foul. Free kick to Wales. Prince Kwabena do the culprit there.
You do not want to see your striker in such a position defending the channel. And it's more or less like a striker's challenge. Very laid back. But that's what sometimes the system demands. And it could give us a hint on what to expect from Queiroz. Number 10 already defending in the left-back position.
Nico Williams winning that foul. Free kick against the Black Stars. Let's see how they are going to defend this one. Thomas behind the ball. Jonas Ajete becoming the stalwart at the back in the absence of our first choice centre-backs. Lawrence Atizigi would also look to keep a clean sheet in this one. Very important for him. He was out of the goalpost for some time, leaving it free for Benjamin Asari, but he's back into this one. Free kick to Wales, effected by Lawrence Atizigi. Comes up with that great save to ensure the game stays goalless. Well, it was a dangerous ball floated in. And I think it was Ajete, not Lawrence Atizigi, Ajete, with that clearance. With the first 11 minutes, it looks like he's been on top of his game.
Yeah, but ideally you would want a shout from the goalkeeper because he sees everything. And if he had that, then Ajete would have ducked.
Corner kick to Wales. A short one there. Wales still trying to penetrate. Long cross in there. Lawrence Atizigi pulling off that magnificent save. This time not Ajete. Atizigi with that athletic save. Oreku, because I thought Dan James was going to give Wales the lead. That was a super save from Lawrence Atizigi.
I think Atizigi used every muscle in his body there to be able to get hands on that. That was an incredible save, very acrobatic from the St. Gallen shotstopper there to ensure that the game stays goalless. But Ghana has to be wary. Wales are starting to find a formula and knowing that if they put in crosses, Ghana are going to struggle to deal with that. We've seen a number of crosses in the last few minutes, and the communication definitely has to be better.
Now, one of the major concerns going into the World Cup was the positioning of players like Prince Kwabena and Jordan Ayew. Many feel that Kwabena is more of an out-and-out number 9. Playing him on the wings really does not get the best out of him. But this is the case where Jordan is playing down the middle and Prince Kwabena has been shifted wide. Let's see what happens. Wales coming forward again. Ball with Lalo. He finds Da Silva. So far, 12 minutes of play, and the Wales team have been on top of their game. Rondon. It looks like there are lots of Black Star players far behind the ball. I don't know the kind of system we are really playing, but it looks like we have a lot of men behind the ball and are not really pressing enough. Wales.
Just as you said, we saw the team trying to, move out the pitch a bit. But it's been more of a conservative approach from the Black Stars so far, which is understandable given the circumstances, the new coach and all of that.
Well, Wales coming forward again and toying with the Black Stars at the moment. Jonas Ajete, Prepara very close in there. It's been a tussle in the box, but Wales trying to find spaces, and Dan James's shot comes off the crossbar. Ghana hanging in there, and finally the ball is cleared. Well, Wales could have easily been ahead in this game, saved by the crossbar this time.
Yeah, and I would want to see that again. It looked like really intricate stuff from the Welsh attacking, force there. And I think that they've looked very fluid. But this all comes from the fact that Ghana have chosen to defend very deep. And so it's making it difficult for them to track the runs. And I'm struggling to see whether Atizigi got something on that as well. But I think he got a fingertip to that Dan James effort as well. And that would mean he has denied, the lead winger twice already in the early stages of this game.
Even the replay makes it better. That was a brilliant acrobatic save from Lawrence Atizigi to deny former Manchester United winger Dan James the opener. Still goalless at the moment. Attempt on target, 4 for Wales, just 1 for the Black Stars, and things will need to improve. Thomas coming forward, exchanging passes beautifully with Keith Moore, but it looks like the ball goes out of touch. Well, referee says ball still in play. Ghana coming forward. Thomas Partey finds Prince Kwabenedu. Kwabenedu slows down the pace, goes back to Thomas Partey. Ball now with Fatai Isahaku. Former steadfast player now with Leicester City, drags the ball wide, but ball rolls out of touch. He ran out of grass there.
Yeah, and I think Marvin Senaya wouldn't be happy with that. Covered over 70 yards to try and support Fatau Isahaku just to give an option. And in the end, Fatau chose to go down the line alone, and it was just a heavy touch. But this is the pattern for Ghana. Ghana needs to take advantage of such moments when they get the ball in the counter-attack, and they need to do more with the ball in these situations.
Of course, the last 1 minute has been all about the Black Stars. Jordan Ayew coming forward again, ball with Fatai Isahaku, goes back to Thomas Partey. Isahaku again finds Mervyn Senaya. Pepra on the ball, opens it up wide to Gideon Mensah. Gideon finds Kamaldeen Sulemana. Elisha with that long surging ball trying to find Fatai Isahaku, but goes out of touch. Carlos Queiroz can only applaud at the moment. It's been Wales who are creating all the decent chances. Big credit to Lawrence Atizigi for pulling off that save. So far, how would you describe the performance of Mervyn Senaya?
I think it's been decent. A lot of Ghanaians had been calling for his inclusion, especially after seeing Caleb Irenchi being used at right back in the March friendlies. And I think he's held his own, but it's been generally difficult. And the problem is really coming in from the left side to Dan
coming
James.
Forward again. That was a timely challenge there from Thomas Partey. The vision for him to smell danger and run back was incredible. But Dan James giving Gideon Mensah one hell of a time.
Yeah, you don't want to be Gideon right now. Dan James he's arguably one of the fastest footballers that we've seen in recent times. Very direct. That's the thing about him. Nowadays you don't see a lot of right-footed wingers play on the right side and go down the line. Everyone wants to cut him. But he's the traditional type. He's going to take you down the line and run with you. And a lot of fullbacks do not like that because it means that you need to run a lot. And that's what we've seen Gideon do in the first few minutes.
Jordan Ayew with that beautiful turn there. You can see the applause from the stadium. Captain of the side finds Prince Kwabenedu. Prince Kwabenedu still on the ball. Tries to play the 1-2 with Jordan, but didn't come off. Ball with Ajeti. Now he finds Pepra. Pepra opens up to Gideon again. Ball back with Pepra at the back. Ghana stringing passes together. Thomas going back to Ajeti, who also finds Pepra. Gideon on the ball now. Kamaldeen Sulemana. It looks like he's playing more as part of that midfield too. He's more in that middle than being out wide. Kamaldeen Sulemana.
Yeah.
Great pass to Jordan Ayew. Beautiful 10. And he goes for the shot. That flies over the crossbar. And Jordan has that in his locker. He always has that beautiful 10. But this time, the finishing was poor.
Yeah, but good work from Fatai Isahaku there. Quite an unorthodox way of controlling that ball, but he managed to still get that under control and quickly release Jordan, who made a very good run. Is with his weaker foot, and so it's understandable. But I think it's a good sequence. At least it's an attack from the Black Stars and an effort just to remind Wales that Ghana still has some threats going forward.
Of course, and Wales were hoping they would qualify for the World Cup. But in the playoffs against Bosnia and Herzegovina, it didn't go as planned as they lost. Again, Dan James coming from that right. Clearly, Gideon Mensah having a tough time to deal with the former Manchester United winger. And he's what we describe as an old-fashioned number 7. I think the last time I saw a player like him has to do with Antonio Valencia of Manchester United. You know, he's going down the right, he's opening up wide, but it's really difficult to track them down. This was the save again from Atizigi. Brilliant one, and I'm sure Gaspar, the goalkeeper's trainer, together with Fatau Dauda, will be proud of what they saw. But this time, it was the crossbar that saved Ghana. Dan James has been a threat throughout the first 20 minutes. Wales again on the ball. Da Silva goes past Fatai Shahako and sends the ball back to Rondon. He finds a Nico Williams. Back to Rondon. Wales being patient with their build-up. At the moment, Ethan Ampadu has grown to become a very decent player. Remember, he has Ghanaian roots and could have easily been part of this Black Stars team. But he's now captain of Wales.
We can say that for so many players. We can say that for Jeremy Frimpong. We can say that for even Memphis Depay to some extent.
The list goes on and on and on. And these days, the GFA has launched a project to ensure they capture most of these diasporan kids at a young age before they get to the senior level, so that their integration into the Black Stars would not be a problem. Lawrence Atisigi going long. It's a tussle in the middle, but Elisha, beautiful header back to his club teammate at Auxerre. Ball with Elisha again. Goes back to Opon Pepra. Pepra finds Ajete. Ajete goes back to Pepra. Ghana putting the passes together. Long one to Fatai Saako. Can he control? Mervin Senaya, sorry, but ball goes out of touch as the Auxerre right back runs back. Jerome Opoku, sorry. He has been solid so far together with Ajete at the back. Jonas Ajete plays for Wolfsburg in the German Bundesliga. His challenge in there was deemed a foul. Big one for him. He needs to cement a place in this Black Stars team ahead of the World Cup. Without Salisu, without Jiku, the coaches will be looking at what he can bring to the table. He was involved in the 2 friendly games we played against Austria and Germany, but was coming forward again with Thomas. Kassin finds Ethan Ampadu, back to Thomas. Joe Rondon finds Da Silva. Ball with Keith Amore. Wales currently dominating the game. Dan James has been the threat. The shot comes in, but a team effort and a routine save from Atizigi. So far, so good. 3 goalkeepers were selected by Coach Carlos Queiroz: Lawrence Atizigi, Joseph Annan, and Benjamin Asari of Hartlepool. Today, Atizigi gets the nod ahead of the 2. Jerome Opoku opens up wide to Gideon Mensah, who finds Kamaldeen Sulemana. Ball back to Jerome Opoku. Atizigi now on the ball. Decides to go long, trying to find Jordan Ayew. Jordan brought down, but the referee says no infringement in there. Game continues with the Wales. Da Silva, who finds Thomas. Thomas being held down by Mervyn Senaya foul. Free kick goes to Wales. Mervyn also competing for that right back row with the likes of Alidu Seidu, Ethan Ampedu, Rondon. Wales patiently building, and Dallo, together with Rondon at the back, have not really been tested. Gideon Mensah with that launch in there, but ball goes past him. Prince Kwabena comes back to tidy things. Long one in there, back foul to Ghana. Prince plays his football in Czech Republic with Victoria Pilsen. A lot of people got excited with his display in the friendly games we played in the Carling Cup, and also our European tour where we took on Austria and Germany. Jerome Opoku going back to Atizigi, who sends this one long, trying to find Prince Kwabena. Ball nearly bounced. And fell kindly to Prince Kwabena, but Rondon showing his experience in there. Wales dominating possession. Work with the pressing started, a bit for Ghana, but it looks like we've slowed down a bit with that. Gideon Mensah committing another foul in a very dangerous area. It's not been easy for him. Nico Williams coming from that right back row. And Gideon has been a bit ragged in the first 26 minutes.
Yeah, I think he got a bit of Nico Williams there, definitely a foul. But perhaps the frustration comes from the fact that you know as a fullback when you're struggling with your winger and you're just not finding solutions against the pace of Daniel James at the moment. And so perhaps that has led to his frustration there. But, Ghana need to be careful. They haven't dealt with set pieces very well so far. I think about 2 or 3 of the shots on target that we've seen from Wales came from set pieces.
Thomas on the ball, sends in a long free kick. This time Rondon goes up, but heads over the crossbar. Goal kick to Ghana. Keith Moore, very experienced player for Wales. He was instrumental in the qualifiers. This time heading over the crossbar. Goal kick to Ghana. Mervyn Senaya, so far so good for the Auxerre player, who was also invited by Togo when we were playing our friendly games against Austria and Germany, but decided to represent the Black Stars.
Yeah, if it were you and you had the opportunity to play at a World Cup and there was Togo, I'm not sure you'd make a different decision. I don't think anyone else would make a different decision in the same shoes.
Let's see how things go for him. He's part of the final 26 players that will be representing Ghana at the World Cup. Big one for him. Ball to Dallo. Almost giving it away. Jordan Ayew with an opportunity. This should have been the opener. It was a gift to Jordan. I think it was surprised a bit that Dallo actually played this one to him, but Jordan could have done better in that instance, Oreko.
Yeah, it's a difficult angle, to be fair. I would have thought he would have been more composed and tried to turn around and see what his options are. But then again, in that split second, you're probably not thinking about that. And it's just like 1% of professional footballers who would be that composed. But it's a reward for his hard work, his press, good chance, good opportunity. Probably should have reacted a bit faster or more composed. But at the end of the day, it's a chance that goes begging.
Clearly, Greg Bellamy not happy with the Dallo gifting Jordan that ball. And these days, our best bet to scoring goals in the Black Stars has come from Jordan Ayew. Scored about 7 goals leading up to the World Cup in the qualifiers. Recently, Germany, Austria friendly. Jordan got that goal against Austria, and he will be looking at getting goals at the World Cup. Poor ball from Kamaldeen Sulemana goes out of touch, but Carlos Queiroz would applaud. I'm sure he's happy with what he's seen in the last 5 minutes, where there's been some form of urgency to the Black Stars. The pressing has been good.
It's the second time Kamaldeen has tried that crossfield pass that went straight out of touch. Needs to do better in those situations.
Thomas Partey easily into the books of the referee. Gave the referee no option than to flash that yellow card with that lunging tackle, trying to take the ball off Dan James.
He's causing trouble wherever he goes. He comes central, and now it's Thomas Partey who is having a headache. If you're a Ghana player, you don't want Daniel James near your position at the moment. He's causing havoc everywhere.
Dan James causing a lot of havoc. Thomas Partey, one of Ghana's best midfielders at the moment, has not played so many games for Villarreal, but we'll be looking at stamping his authority when we go to the World Cup. 32 years of age, this could be his last World Cup with the Black Stars. Remember, Partey made his debut for Ghana in 2016. He's played 58 matches so far, scored 16 goals in the process, and is a key part of the team. Free kick to Wales, 31 minutes played. Let's see what they make out of this. Wall beautifully placed, and ball passed back. It's been blocked. Good one from Prince Kwabena to ensure the ball doesn't go past the wall. But it goes back to Wales. Dallo on the ball. Finds Lolo, who finds Da Silva from the left. Fatai Sahaku pressing back. Wales will always go back to their goalkeeper to restart the game. Lalo again, a long one, trying to find Dan James, who comes infield. But Gideon Mensah with that last ditch tackle. Clearly not a back pass there. It was Brooks who made that run from midfield. Nearly caught the Black Stars defense unaware, but it was good play from Gideon Mensah to get a touch on the ball. Ball goes up again. Comfortable there for Wales. We've not seen much of Prince Kwabena in the attacking areas. It's been his defensive duties that have been highlighted more in this game.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the position would also play a part. But it looks like there's been a change of position. Kamaldeen Sulemana has moved out wide, and he has rather moved in infield. More of a 4-4-2 now from coach Carlos Queiroz. Jordan, are you coming back there? Jonas Ajete finds goalkeeper Lawrence Atizigi. He goes long, trying to locate Prince Kwabena, but headed out. Kamaldeen Sulemana, a player with immense quality and would also be looking at doing a lot for the Black Stars. Kwabena moved a yard too early, offside.
And I think for Prince, this is probably all new to him. He's playing in a hybrid role where we've seen him play as a number 9, he's played as a 10, he's played as an 11. It's almost like 3 different roles in 30 minutes. And I don't know whether that is to Queiroz responding to what Wales are doing, or that was part of the initial plan, but he slotted back into his number 10 role now, just slightly behind Jordan in the attack.
If you're a staunch follower of the Ghana Premier League 2015-2016, Prince Kwabena Bechem United, the moment he gets onto the ball, you know that he would be a star. Marvin Senaya dealing very well with Thomas. Unlike Gideon, who has had a lot of trouble with the pacey Dan James, Marvin has been pretty solid at right back so far. Wales still on the ball. Da Silva finds Ethan Ampedu. Back to Da Silva, who finds Lolo. Goes into the middle. to Sheenan, and ball now back to Rondon. Nico Williams. Well, stringing their passes together very well. The Black Stars so far have slowed down in terms of their pressing. That is a true ball by Gideon Mensah. Spots the danger and clears his line. Now with Kudus not part of the squad, a lot of people are asking where that creativity would come from in the team.
I think it's time for the wide men to step up. We saw Fatawu Issahaku start this game brilliantly, but I think he's dissipated a bit as the game wore on. Not due to any fault of his, but he's just not seen enough of the ball between, minutes 12 to now. And so he's just not been able to really impact the game. I think our wide men, the likes of Fatawu Issahaku, Enes Nuama, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Bonsuban, Inaki Williams to some extent, Semenyo, all of them need to step up with the goals and assists to be able to alleviate, losing someone like Mohamed Kudus.
Let's see how it goes. Ghana coming forward with Elisha. Ball with Kamaldeen Sulemana, Castle to his right and Alicia shots, but deflected and not much power behind that ball. Dalo with a comfortable save. You want Kamaldeen Sulemana in those positions where he can cut onto his right and try to bend the ball. But this time, he didn't get enough. It was actually deflected by Nico Williams and it fell kindly to goalkeeper Dalo. 36 minutes of play at the Cardiff City Stadium in Wales. It is Wales goalless. Black Stars goalless, no goals to see here. Wales could have easily taken the lead, but for the heroics of Atizigi, this game is still barren. Gideon Mensah there with that beautiful control to ensure ball doesn't get to Dan James. Finds Kamaldeen Sulemana back to Gideon Mensah. Sends a long one trying to find Prince Kwabenedu. Flex on the ball but goes out of touch. Well, referee says last touch came off the Wales defender, so it's a throw in to Ghana. Kamaldeen has a lot to prove. He plays his football with Atalanta in the Italian Serie A. Started pretty well, but has so far not shown enough. But in this game, he's showing his quality. 1-2 with Jordan Ayew. Kamaldeen Sulemana with that left cross, but he's being blocked by Nico Williams. So if Dan James is giving Gideon Mensah a lot of headache, I'm sure Nico Williams was also finding a bit of difficulty with Kamaldeen Sulemana. He seemed to have burst into life in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's growing into the game now, and you can see he's charging up the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Ghana getting into the game a lot more.
And that is what we want to see. Corner kick to Ghana, our first in this game. Jordan Ayew, always on corner kick duties. Players like Jerome Opoku would be very instrumental in the air. Ball sent in, but Rondon gets a touch on the ball as it goes out of touch. Throw in to Ghana. It was a beautifully floated ball in by Jordan Ayew, but the experienced Rondon spotted the danger behind him as he flicked off the ball. Jordan Ayew made his debut for the Black Stars in 2010. He so far played 119 goals, scored a total of 34 goals in return for the team. Another corner kick to the Black Stars, this time won by Prince Kwabenedu. Jordan will be playing his third World Cup because he was part of the 2014 team, 2022, and also 2026. He has been named in the squad. So the most experienced player in the ranks for Ghana. Ghana's second corner kick in this game, 38 minutes of play. Jordan not to effect this one. It is, Jordan back on duty, sends the ball in. Again, it's a tussle in there. Jerome Opoku tried to head it goals, but it's been blocked for Fatawu Issahaku. With that trick in there, can he go past his man? No is the answer. Ball still with Ghana. Mervyn Senaya tries to have a goal, but Ball way off targets. And this will come as a relief to Wales.
For a second, I'm sure Senaya saw his name in the headlines. So that was audacious on his weak foot. From 40 or 30, okay, maybe like what, 30 yards? Yeah, it looks about 30 yards there. There's absolutely no way.
And that would have been a good introduction for him. I mean, to tell Ghanaians that I can score.
Yeah, sometimes you need to try your luck.
Of course. It's always best that you try your luck in games like this. It boosts your confidence. So far, so good for the Black Stars who have turned up the heat in the last 5 minutes. Ajete finds Mervin Senaya. Senaya goes back to Ajete, who hits his long. Tussle between Kwabena and Sheeman, but Sheeman comes up on top. Ball now with Lolo. Finds Thomas. He's had to deal with the strength of Mervin Senaya in this first 40 minutes. Not been an easy one for him. But still, Wales on the ball. Nico Williams out wide. Sends the ball to Thomas, who was trying to go down the middle, but ball being cut out by Jordan Ayew. But still, Wales recycle possession and are trying patiently to draw the Black Stars out of their shelf. It's not been an easy one because the Black Stars have been very compact, especially in the middle and at the back. But Wales coming forward with Ethan Ampadu. Beautiful play there. Thomas on the ball being pursued by two players. Sends the ball back. But that challenge from Thomas Partey.
Mutala, should I tell you what? If that was a competitive match, I think Partey is off. If that was a competitive match, I think Thomas Partey would be off.
Thomas Partey there stretching, trying to get the ball, but he rather got Brooks. And clearly you can see Ethan Ampadu drawing the attention of the referee that this is a second yellow card. As Oreku said, in a competitive
it's a friendly game, so you probably want to test your players at the best. So, but I think this is a clear second yellow card. It's reckless, denied a good opportunity for Wales. This is nowhere near the ball. This is, for a player as experienced as Partey, you would expect better. And that's the replay of his first yellow card.
Oh, Thomas Partey, maybe he's a bit rusty. We need to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's not played enough games for VRL in recent times, but still a very brilliant midfielder.
I'll be surprised if he comes out of the tunnel for the second half.
Oh, let's see what happens because the other players on the bench, like Kelly Berenchui, who is also looking at getting in there. The likes of Kwesizibo would all want to get onto the pitch for the second 45 minutes. But free kick to Wales, Lawrence Atizigi organizing the war. And on the floor is Prince Kwabena Edu, who tried to ensure the ball doesn't go beneath, pass him under the wall. Let's see what happens. Free kick to Wales. Nico Williams and Brooks behind the ball. Can Ghana prevent this one? It is Brooks who goes with the shot, but the wall does his job. Ball still with Wales. And Mervin Senaya throws his body in the way of that shot from Keith Moore to prevent the ball getting to Atizigi. Thomas Partey with that poor touch. Ball goes to Ethan Ampadu. Laula with that ball, trying to find Rondon. Very patient display from Wales at the moment. Ghana wins possession. Fatai Shahaku on the ball. Can Ghana get the opener before halftime? Fatai Shahaku tries to feed Thomas Partey, but that touch Gideon Mensah sends in the cross. Prince Kwabena do. Shot comes in, but brilliant save from Dallo.
Senaya tried again.
Mervin Senaya tried the first time, ball flew way over the crossbar. This time, it was a deflected effort of Thomas, and Dallo had to pull off this save. If not, Ghana would have been up by a goal to nil. Third corner came for the Black Stars. 44 minutes of play so far. The Oxerman so far has displayed some good performance at right back. Jordan Ayew says in the corner kick, player down, but the referee says there was an infringement in the 1 minute of other time. That would have been some goal and some introduction for Mervin Senaya.
Well, if we go back to geometry class and your first effort flies way over the bar and your second effort just under the bar saved by the goalkeeper, then his third effort could see us celebrating. It's surprising to see we're saying this about a right back.
Yeah.
He's probably been Ghana's biggest threat going forward, maybe alongside Jordan, who's also had 2 efforts.
Not being a bad display from the Auxerre man, who some few months ago was also invited by the Togolese national team, but he decided to choose the Black Stars ahead of Togo, and today he's part of the final squad for the World Cup, playing against Wales in this friendly. Very important, but the referee brings the first half to a close. Goalless at the break. No goals to record at the Cardiff City Stadium. It's been a good one. Wales starting the better of the two sides, creating all the chances. Lawrence Atizigi has had his topmost best and made that fantastic save to deny Dan James the opener. Gideon Mensah struggled a bit coming up against Dan James, but towards the tail end of the game, he was able to defend his lines. Will Carlos Queiroz be happy with the first half display? So far, Jerome Opoku and Jonas Ajete have also not been bad, holding their own, knowing that there's no Salisu and also there's no Jiku. Goalless at the break. First 45 minutes has ended. Ghana against Wales.
It stands between Wales and Ghana, and there you have the statistics from the first half. Wales arguably have been more dominant and have more of the ball, created better after opportunities, with Lawrence Atizigi being pulled into 2 world-class saves. There you would be seeing some of the highlights from the first half there. Wales, arguably the biggest opportunity of the half, Danny James' header clawed out of the net by Lawrence Atizigi. That was early in the first half there. And so we'll be taking a look more about the first half of the Carlos Queiroz era. 0-0 between Ghana and Wales, but a lot to learn and pick from. We'll be talking about all of that right after this break here on TV3. Welcome back from the break. You're still live here on TV3. It's our live coverage for the match between Wales and Ghana. It's 0-0 currently at halftime. And just to remind you that you should pack your bags because two people are actually going for the FIFA World Cup. You do want to lend me your ears here. And there will actually be the opportunity for two more tomorrow and two more the day after. Now, this is the Black Stars Support World Cup raffle. And for just 10 Ghana cedis, you could win a full World Cup experience package, which includes your return flights, your accommodation, and match tickets to not just one, but all three of Ghana's group games against Panama, England, and Croatia. Now, there are also daily consolation prizes as well. In case you do not win the trip, you would get cash to your mobile money wallet, you get autographed Black Star jerseys, VIP fan park tickets, and then airtime, data bundles, and more. Every ticket is your vote for the Black Stars, and your shot at being there to support the national team. Now, this is how you can participate. Take your phones and dial *899#, *899# on MTN, Telecel, or Airtel Tigo. Just 10 Ghana cedis per ticket. The more you buy, the better your chances. 2 winners every day. Ghana to the world. Dial *899# or visit ghworldcupraffle.com. Remember that your ticket is waiting. We'll go for a quick break before we come back, and then we hear from my gentlemen in studio about their thoughts on the first half. Welcome back from the break. You're still live here on our live coverage for the game between Wales and Ghana. Currently 0-0. We're just a few minutes away from second half kickoff. But let me come to you, Sammy. What has been your overall thoughts of the Black Stars so far?
This was like an American football scrimmage, you know, when they put 11 players behind the ball to defend. And that's how it looked like in the first part of the first half. No different from an Otuado match. But I said that success will be not conceding. Now that we have tested that and shown we can go forward with 2 shots on goal, you should make the necessary changes and then give the players the freedom to now attempt to attack. Because for me, once you sort out your defense, then you can explore. And I think the coach's character is defensive, and that's what he showed.
Well, Augustine, you said that the aim is not to lose.
Yes.
They've done that in the first half. What do they have to do more to ensure?
We've been able to hold on, but we've not been brilliant. And I think that I made mention of system of play. You saw the players on the field, but our system that we're implementing, I didn't really know until he made further changes to the system, and then we saw Edu Kobna come in and then Kamaldeen on the left side. I hope that, like Sammy said, you've seen them, how they play, so come out and let's see what we are capable of doing. Some players should come and play this match. It is just a friendly match. We shouldn't allow the results to be a hindrance in a way of bringing other players on to come and exhibit what they have.
Okay, and so there you can see last-minute tactics being passed on with a change also being expected. Kwesi Sebok comes in for Thomas Partey, and just as I told Mutala, I would be surprised if the Villarreal midfielder had come on for the second half after his rather reckless challenge there.
So, Carlos Queiroz at the moment. It looks like Brandon Thomas Asante and Kwesi Sebok are being introduced into the game. Brandon had a great season with Coventry in the English Championship. Even helped them to qualify. That was a big one for them. And the Accra Hearts of Oak goalkeeper, Benjamin Asare, would also be coming on. Some substitutions there from coach Carlos Queiroz. So Kwesi Sebok, as Oreku mentioned in the first half, replacing Thomas Partey in there. That is the first change that was effected. Benjamin Asare also coming in for Watizigi, and Brandon Thomas Asante also coming on. So second 45 minutes about to start. There you have the man who is currently the talk of town, Antoine Semenyo. Second half on the way. Black Stars goes long. But Wales in the same shape again. Dan James showing pace. And Carlos will be hoping that these changes that he's made would have an effect. Prince Kwabena Edu also coming off for Brandon Thomas Asante, and we understand that Ernest Nuama has also come on for Fatai Issahaku.
Fun fact for Nuama, if he lasts the entirety of the second half, that will be more minutes that he's played this season for Lyon. He's only managed about 31 minutes of action due to his injury, only returned in March.
Had a lengthy layoff, but then he's back. Wales trying to start the same way they did in the first half. But then Black Stars showing strength. I think that was too much power there from Elisha. Referee deems that as illegal. Yeah, too much power there to bring Nico Williams down. And a lot of people will be hopeful to see what Brandon Thomas Asante does. scored 13 goals in all competition for Coventry in 32 matches. Coventry City qualifying for the Premier League next season. So Brandon will be playing in the Premier League. But first has to help the Black Stars of Ghana conquer Wales, then go on to do good things at the World Cup. Came in for Prince Kwabena, showing great urgency there. But it's Wales who are putting their passes together beautifully. Thomas tries to find his captain, Ethan Ampadu. It was too much, but Da Silva with that beautiful control there. So far, the same shape, style that Wales started the first half has been introduced. Some 4 changes for the Black Stars, none for Wales at the moment. But they are still controlling the tempo of the game. Lala with that ball to find Brooks in there. Brooks coming forward, but that is a beautiful tackle from Kamaldeen Sulemana. Ball out wide by Elisha to Jordan, who is confronted by Rondon. Jordan Ayew calmly brings the ball back to Gideon Mensah. Gideon goes back to Jerome, who also finds Ajete. Mervyn Senaya. Jerome on the ball now. Opens up wide to Ghana's left back. Gideon, who tries to go long back. Ball's been cut short as Wales regain possession. Ball back to their goalkeeper, Dallo. It looks like it was a wayward pass, but Da Silva has been able to recover. Currently, Enes Yama behind him. Mervyn Senaya winning that header. Pesisibo couldn't get there ahead of time as Dallo picks out the ball and finds Rondon. Ball back to Dallo again. Another pass that looks a bit wayward, and Dallo is leaving dangerously. In the first half, he gifted Jordan Ayew one. Strong tackle from Thomas. And the referee whistles for a foul on Mervyn Senaya.
Got both the ball and the man. Just a bit too strong there from Thomas.
Strong tackle from Thomas. So Ghana restarts play. So far, Jerome and Ajete have not really put a foot wrong. Long ball from Jerome to Jordan. First touch. Let him down there.
Unlike the first half, Jordan hasn't made a stick just yet. But that was a good run and a good pass from Jerome Opoku. It was an opportunity for Ghana to exploit the unusually high line of Wales in that moment.
And game continues in earnest. Kamaldeen Sulemana now playing more wider than the first half, where he was drifting consistently into the middle. Brought down. Seemed to be some form of pain by the referee. Whistles play on. Brandon goes up. Carlos Queiroz keenly watching on to see if the changes that he made would have an impact on the team. Mervyn Senaya, so far, been brilliant. And Rico, I was talking about Jerome and Ajete not putting their foot wrong in the game we've seen.
I think they've been good. They've defended generally well. That was loose from Kwesi Sibo, but wonderfully retrieved from Elisha Owusu. But I think the pairing of Jonas Ajete, who just gave the ball away,
and I think Oreku just suffered the commentator's curse.
I just had to keep quiet in that
Just
moment.
when he praised Ajete, then he gives that ball away, but he's been able to regain possession for Ghana. Gideon Mensah, I'm sure at a point in this game, we may see the return of Abdul Baba Rahman, who's been out for 3 years. Currently plays for PAOK. Benjamin Asare, who was Ghana's #1 during the qualifiers. Recently was in post when we took on Mexico, where we lost by 2-0. Today he has had to come on and substitute Lawrence Atizigi, who made a fantastic save in the first half, but was coming forward beautifully. Referee says Jordan Ayew got a bit of the ball, not the foul on Chiman. Long one there. Goalkeeper Dallo had to come out because Brandon Thomas Asante was chasing down that ball.
And he's calling for calm. I think Ghana are just trying to play that through pass a bit too soon. In the last 15 minutes of the first half, we saw a lot more composure, a lot more passing, but this second half is the reliance on long balls has just been too much.
Brandon Thomas Asante, his coach Frank Lampard, described him as a super sub. He made his debut for Ghana in 2024. He's played 5 games so far and he scored 1.
In the Unity Cup against Nigeria.
Yeah.
Remember that goal.
And he'll be hoping that he would get some more goals for Ghana when we go to the World Cup. Kamaldeen Sulemana, a lot to be on his shoulders with the absence of Mohamed Kudus.
Let me ask you something. Bar Thomas Partey, who was at risk of a red card, Thomas Asante, Nuama, Sibo, those 3 changes, what do they mean to you?
It means that coach wants to bring some form of steel, especially in the middle there, and wants to try something new up front with Brandon Asante, because it was more of Jordan who was playing as a number 9. This time he's playing more of a number 10 with Brandon Asante rather as the number 9. But Nyama on the ball now. And as Nyama goes past Thomas, he's brought down, but referee says that it was a clean tackle from Thomas. Senaya, sorry. There were some protests from some of the Ghanaian players. Now, Senaya has to get back because Wills are coming forward with Brooks there. Sends in the cross. Ball loose. Everyone. Almost an on goal from Gideon Mensah in his attempt to prevent the ball from getting to Dan James. But it looks like goalkeeper Benjamin Asare had it covered. But Gideon is very fortunate that this one went wide. Did Asare really get attached to the ball? It looks like he got a tip to this one. Corner kick to Wales. Game still goalless at the Cardiff City Stadium. Gideon Mensah. Wales go short with Brooks and Da Silva coming in. Thomas sends in that cross. Kamaldeen with that defensive duty. Another cross in there. Ball falls to Thomas. Brings it back and takes a shot. But Jonas Ajete again.
Once again.
Being that shield. So far he's made about 3 crucial blocks. And that has been good.
Once again, Ghana struggling with Wales and their ingenuity from set pieces. When they play short and moving around like that, the Black Stars haven't been able to react.
Thomas on the cross now. Corner kick to Wales, 55 minutes played, goalless. Sends in a long one. Again, Jonas Ajete getting something on that ball. Throw in to Wales, Dan James picks this one up. Carlos Queiroz, his first game in charge of the Black Stars. We'll be looking at some players for inspiration. Ghana's bench still has some quality that he can call on, because there's Kajol Pompepra, Abdul Baba Rahman, Abdul Mumin, Derek Lucasen is also there. Alidu Seidu, Iñaki Williams, Christopher Bonsuba, Caleb Irenchi, Antoine Semenyo, and Augustin Boache all on the bench. And I'm sure at a point in this game, all these players will have a feel of QS's first game. Throwing to Ghana, Senaya to Kwasi Zibo, back to Senaya. He finds Ajiti. It goes back to his goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari. Plays this one long. Jordan failed to control the ball. Brooks now. Wills coming forward dangerously. Brooks. That some clearance from Jerome Opoku. And he did brilliantly to ensure he gets the ball and not the man.
Once again, the ball is not sticking up front to Jordan the second half, and that is, making Ghana really struggle to move up the pitch. And the effect of that is now the defense is under a lot of pressure, and yet another corner kick conceded.
Brooks behind the ball. One of Jordan's best quality has to be his hold-up play, but so far in this game, it's not really shown. Captain of the side, currently having a word from the referee. Ghana to defend this set piece. Jordan on Thomas. Brooks behind the ball. Sends this one in. A low cross, poor corner kick, cleared by Gideon Mensah. Throwing quickly effected. Wills still coming forward. Gideon shows quality there with that great strength. Ball back to Gideon. Hits it long. Trying to find Jordan. Jordan with that control, but it's been cut out. But Ghana still regains possession. Long one from Elisha there to find Ernest Nyama. Ernest Nyama goes out wide to find Senaya bad. Offside in there. Senaya ran too early.
It has to be faster there from Nyama. You can see from the signals of Senaya there, it was a good opportunity for Nyama there. Good 2v1 opportunity to be able to get across in there. But my bigger issue there was that even if Senaya was onside, Ghana barely had one man in the box. And so, it would have been extremely difficult to be able to pick out across one striker against about 4 defenders. Jordan needs to be up there with Kamaldeen and Thomas Asante, especially when the ball is coming in from the right-hand side there.
Of course, and we'll need a lot of inspiration, especially from players like Jordan, to get into the box.
Speaking of Kamaldeen Suleiman, I think he's been subbed off.
Yep, some substitutions are for both sides. Wales bringing on men, and Ghana also bringing on men. Caleb Irenchi recently under departed head coach Otuado, he was playing as a right back. It looks like under Carlos Queiroz, it is clear he will be in his natural position, which is the midfield. The likes of Kumas all coming in for Wales. Brooks going off at the moment.
I think Caleb came on for Elisha Owusu, and then Christopher Bonsuba also coming on for Kamaldeen Sulemana. So it's more or less like a straight swap. Bonsuba, I think, stays on the left wing, a position where he's become accustomed to Al Katia, where he's played as a left wing back. And so Queiroz would rely on his creative powers, finished with 12 assists in the Saudi League. We'll be relying on that in this game and beyond.
Of course, Cameron Congreve came on for Dan James, and Louis Comas also came on for Keith Moore. Then we had Nathan Goodhead also taking the place of Dan Brooks. And Ghana also bringing on Caleb Irenchi and Christopher Bonsuba, who plays his football in Saudi Arabia. Back four still remains unchanged at the moment, and Bonsuba's first involvement is to win the foul for Ghana. By the way, one of Ghana's opponents at the World Cup, Croatia, were involved in the friendly game earlier today, They were beaten by Belgium by 2-0. Maybe that could be some form of iota of inspiration for Ghana. They had the likes of Luka Modric all represent. Cross sent in by Enes Nyama. Kwesi Zibo's first touch was poor there. The referee says play on Mervin Senaya. Ball with Enes Nyama. Enes Nyama trying to cut onto his left, but goes out wide to Senaya. Mervin Senaya against Da Silva. Senaya's cross is deflected out for another corner kick for the Black Stars. Mervin so far has been able to find himself in very good positions.
Yeah.
Especially when he's overlapping and allowing his wingers to cut in.
I think he showed a lot of running power and ambition on that right wing, and it's interesting how he's been able to develop telepathy with the likes of Atawa and Nuama because they're left-footed and would love to cut inside.
Another corner kick, Jerome Opoku Ajete in the box. A ball sent in by Jordan. Heads go up. This time, I think it is Ajete who got the connection, but it was lacking accuracy as the ball flew over the crossbar. That would be some form of confidence booster for the young defender and Carlos Queiroz. In recent times, Black Stars have done well with set pieces, especially in the qualifiers where we scored a lot.
Yeah, I think you look back at that and say that was a good chance. It was a good chance, and he had a very good leap. Probably as the contact point of where the ball hit his head, and that ensured that the ball ended up looping over the bar. But it was a very, very good opportunity, and Ghana have threatened from corners in this game as well.
That has been Ghana's bets to scoring goals in this game from set pieces, which is really crucial when you're playing a tournament like the World Cup. As Didier Deschamps would always say, being good with the set pieces is always a blessing. But Ghana there with some confusion and chaos in the box. Nico Williams looking towards the referee for a foul, but the referee waves play on. It was Kwesi Zibo that came in with that tackle, but in the end, the referee judged that as legal. No infringement in there.
His second touch there, he probably had lost the ball, and the ref's interpretation would be he didn't have control of the ball. And so perhaps that's why that wasn't considered as a penalty. But it's a close shave.
And I'm sure Sibo will learn a lot from this in this day of VAR. Players would be making the sign that the referee needs to go and review. And at the World Cup, VAR would really be at the center
Very involved.
of affairs. Da Silva for Wales goes out wide to Thomas, being confronted by Senaya. Senaya with another good block there. Ethan Ampadu has the ball back. Wales trying to cut open that Black Stars defense. Ethan Ampadu, currently one of the most decorated players in this Wales team. He's played 61 times for them, yet to score a goal. Ghana coming forward with Enes Nyama. Big opportunity for the Black Stars. Enes Nyama casting onto his left, but that is a goal. That is a goal. Caleb Urechi gives the Black Stars the lead after that superb solo run from Enes Nyama. 65 minutes played at the Cardiff City Stadium. Caleb Urechi coming off the bench to give the Black Stars this lead. Wales have been dominating the game, but it is the Black Stars who opened the scoring. That is a good one for the young man who has been touted as the next big thing. Ghana 1, Wales 0.
This is all about the hard work off the ball. Ghana wins the ball and immediately throws bodies forward. And it's all about Enes Nyama here. Just look at that drop-off shoulder there. He probably should have finished the chance off, and Urechi also should have finished the rebound off. But it's just reward for committing bodies forward and ensuring that you're able to get the rebounds. And in the end, I think on the balance of things, Ghana probably deserve to take the lead in the second half. Wales just haven't been the same side in the first half, and I think the changes have made a difference. And Ghana lead by 1-0.
Caleb Renchi there. There you see the coaches, the technical staff of the Black Stars exchanging pleasantries, and joy in the fans. The hundreds of Ghanaians who are at the Cardiff City Stadium are in ecstasy mood, seeing the Black Stars take the lead against Wales. Caleb Renchi started his football journey with the Right to Dream Academy, currently playing in Denmark for Nordsjælland. Played 11 games for the Black Stars, and this is his first goal for the senior national team. It is scary to know that he is just 20 years of age. It looks like there's some form of urgency in the Black Stars play with the new substitutions that came on. But you look at the goal again, everything started with Caleb Renchi. That 1-2 he played with Ernest Nuamah was brilliant.
Yeah, and it's just interesting to see how the two of them just literally carry the ball from midfield. And these guys have an average age of what? Like 19.5 years. These two guys literally carried the ball from the center circle and ensured that they gave Ghana the lead there. 2 second-half substitutes combining, Carlos Queiroz would be a happy man.
Of course, Gideon Mensah with that cross in. Header comes in, but Jerome Opoku did not get enough power on that one. And it went straight to goalkeeper Dallo. I think he was surprised the ball got to him, and he wasn't really prepared for that. Big opportunity for Ghana to make it 2-0. But as it stands, the Black Stars are leading by 1-0. Good one there. Caleb Renchi opening the scoring. Wales all trying to come out hard. Ethan Ampadu, sorry. Ball with Da Silva. Ampadu again pushes out wide to Comas. Wales have been very dominant, had the lion's share of possession in this game. That is the Black Stars who take the lead. Game still very much open. Wales coming forward again. Kwesi Zibo with another tackle this time. Referee judges this as illegal. Free kick to Wales. And Zibo would also want to be careful not to attract any booking. Wales on the ball now. Coming forward with Cameron Congreve. Ball with Nico Williams. He finds Rondon. Rondon finds his partner. Thomas at the moment. Kumas coming forward with Da Silva. Ethan Ampadu, the captain of the side. Nico Williams sends in the cross. Ajete fails to deal with this one, sorry. And Kumas nearly getting the equalizer for Wales. It looks like Ajete misjudged the flight of the ball this time.
I think he completely lost his man there. And Kumas should be doing better.
That was a big opportunity for Wales to tie this at 1-1. Kumas, I'm sure Greg Bellamy would be very disappointed that he couldn't hit the target. That was a cross from Nico Williams. And it looks like Benjamin Asare had this covered, but his kick is a poor one. Currently, Wales are knocking on the door to get that equalizer. Congreves losing out to Gideon Mensah. Christopher Bonsuba. Good work there to find Brandon Thomas Asante. His hold-up play since he came on has been great. But now back with Jerome, who finds Ajete. Pushes out wide to Senaya. Tries to play the 1-2 with Ernest Nuamah. It comes off beautifully with Ernest Nuamah coming forward. Again, ball falls to Brandon Thomas Asante. Opportunity for the Coventry City man to get another goal for the Black Stars. This time his left-footed effort was wide off the target, but this was another massive chance for the Black Stars.
Senaya and Nuamah have been on the same wavelength aside that run that saw him go offside. Since then, it's almost been telepathic there, and they've managed to create yet another opportunity. Perhaps Brandon Thomas Asante would feel he had to do better there. But once again, it's the impact of the substitutions from Carlos Queiroz. There's just a different energy attached to the counter-attacks from Team Ghana now.
More substitutions will be made. And the man that many were talking about and were hoping that would have a good World Cup, Iñaki Williams, it looks like he'll be coming on. Jerome Opoku looks to be struggling a bit, but it's Ghana who are leading Wales by a goal to nil. Some 18 minutes left to play at the Cardiff City Stadium. It's just a friendly game, but a win for Ghana would be very important as they are heading into the World Cup. Coach Carlos Queiroz, this is his first game in charge of the team. He was not available for that Mexico game. But Congreve sensing the cross there. Benjamin Asare, calm, cool, collected. Straight into his arms. It looks like there's a change in tactics for the Wales team. They are now sending in a lot of crosses from both flanks.
Yeah, I think the new striker, Comas, number 9, very, very tall striker, adept in the air as well. Has already had one opportunity that he failed to put away. Clearly, they want to give him as many chances in the air as possible. And perhaps at halftime, they realized that he could fancy his chances against either Jonas or Jerome in the air.
So, Jerome currently off receiving treatment.
So Caliber slotted into centre back.
Kelly Brenchi has joined Ajete as centre back. Wills still on the ball, trying to cut open that Black Stars defense. Nico Williams. Nico still with the ball, finds his captain, Ampadu. Ball with Da Silva, who sends in the cross. Again, ball eludes the defense. Comas couldn't connect, too strong for him. And now some substitutions can be made by both sides. So Iñaki Williams being lined up there. And it would be very interesting to see who comes off. Jordan Ayew coming off for Iñaki Williams. So Gideon Mensah takes the armband. Iñaki has another opportunity, this time to impress in the Black Star shirts. And there's also Senaya, who is coming off. And like-for-like replacement, Ali Duseidu, will be filling in at right back. Gideon Mensah is also one of the oldest members of the team. No matter how you look at it, he's played 31 games for the Black Stars. Was part of the 2022 World Cup squad.
Yeah.
And he takes the armband. Ali Duseidu,
I wonder what's happening on the touchline.
there seemed to be some form of miscommunication on the touchline because Senaya has already come off.
Has Ghana exhausted this window of substitutions?
So now
I think we need another window. Or they wasted time. Something strange has happened. And so for the second sequence in a row, Ghana will be playing with 10 men.
Yeah. So I'm sure at the moment, because the ball hasn't gone out of touch, Ghana will have to wait for that. So currently, Ernest Yama is filling in at right back. Iñaki Williams, always present and doing the business for Bilbao. But it's the Black Stars that he's not really hit the ground running. Big opportunity for him. His brother, Nico, is also part of the Spanish team that will be playing at the World Cup. And he will be playing for the Black Stars, 31 years of age as well. Ball sent in, but Asare guides this one out. Iñaki also made his debut for the Black Stars ahead of the 2022 World Cup. He's also played 25 times for Ghana and he scored 2 goals. But for Bilbao, since 2014, he's played 407 games and scored 85 goals in the process.
Yeah, it's been a shadow, similar to the story of Antoine Semenyo.
Remember clearly asking Coach Otuado at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium when Ghana took on Angola in that AFCON qualifier, that what would it take to get the best out of Iñaki Williams? And he says that a lot of the work also depends on Iñaki Williams. Today he's gotten the opportunity to get himself onto the score sheet ahead of the World Cup. Gideon Mensah. First few minutes he had huge problems with Dan James, but so far has been able to fill in and be composed. Bonsuba chases this one out, but Dalo comes off quickly and clears the ball out of touch. Greg Bellamy dishing out instructions to his boys. In terms of possession, they have been very decent. But as far as the most important statistics in football is concerned, it is Ghana who are leading. Ernest Nyama with the trickery there. Some step overs coming up against Da Silva, and that excites the crowd at the Cardiff City grounds. Kwesi Zibo so far has been tidy in possession, but now with Christopher Bonsuba. Bonsuba, Kassin finds Kelly Brinchi. Good play from the Black Stars. Putting passes together beautifully. Sibo finds Ajete. Ball back with Benjamin Asare. And the crowd are whipped up at the Cardiff City Stadium. Excited with what they are seeing at the moment. That Ghana are controlling the tempo of the game. Can they hold on? Can the Black Stars hold on? A long one there, trying to find Iñaki Williams. Dalo again comes off his line. He's done this.
That's the 4th time he's done it.
4 times in this game.
That's the definition of a modern day goalkeeper.
But Jerome Opoku didn't come on again, and his place has been taken by Abdul Mumin, who is currently partnering Ajete at the back. So Abdul Mumin, who has also, endured a torrid season where he was out for the larger part of the season, recently returned to the Vallecano side today. He gets to play again. Sends in a long ball, trying to find Iñaki Williams, but he's now offside. About 10 minutes of no more time remaining. Can the Black Stars get more goals? Can they hold on? That is the question at the moment. Cardiff City Stadium. We've been told by the Ghana Football Association Communications Director that it is likely the Black Stars will play one more friendly game before our first game against Panama on the 17th of June in Toronto. Panama recently played Brazil, where they lost by 6 goals to 2. So 2 of our opponents have lost their games, Panama and Croatia, and we are winning. It should be a huge confidence booster for us. Will's not giving up, still coming forward. Ethan Ampadu on the ball now. Being confronted by Kelly Brinchi. Takes a shot, but it's blocked. Ghana have all 10 men behind the ball. Ethan Ampadu trying to find Kumas in there. Will stringing passes together beautifully. Ampadu goes left. Ball still with Wales. Nico Williams finds Ampadu. Wales dazzling in there. A cross comes in, but being dealt with by Ajete. Nico Williams still on the ball. Kelly Brinchi tries to nick the ball off him, but Wales still very tidy in possession, not allowing the Black Stars to pour forward in their numbers as they've pinned Ghana in their own half in the last 2 minutes. A cross comes in. Christopher Bonsuba comes in and does a tidy job. Gideon Mensah, to nobody in particular, as Wales recycle possession and will pour forward again. Ghana, after getting the goal, has slowed down the tempo a bit. Kelly Brinchi showing strength there, but Wales still on the ball. There needs to be a bit of urgency in our game. Brandon Thomas Asante brought down.
Very good
by
free kick
Ampadu.
there.
Yeah,
Gives the Ghanaian defense
intelligent free kick.
a chance to rest. They've been under the caution the past few minutes.
More substitutions for Wales. Clearly, they want to get the equalizer. Rondon coming off. And Da Silva as well. With Norton Davis coming on. And Andrews also replacing Rondon. Long ball to Ernest Nyama, showing a lot of pace, but that has been cleared by Norton Davis, who just came on. Ernest Nyama plays for Lyon in France. Suffered an ACL injury, had to sit out for longer periods, only came back recently before the season ended, but was able to make it in time to be part of Carlos Queiroz' 26-man squad, because in the past he's shown a lot of quality and will be hoping to take this opportunity of showing some great performances at the World Cup. There you have it. After 3 years of not being with the Black Stars, Abdul Baba Rahman comes on and he takes the armband.
I think he's still the most experienced player. If you're looking at number of cups on the pitch with the players remaining, he still has the most number of cups, and so rightfully so.
You could see the big smile on Sami Bartels' face when Baba Rahman was just coming on. Abdul Baba Rahman, a man who clearly defies opinion, that one of the best left backs we've had in recent times. A lot of experience, having played for clubs like Asante Kotoko, Dreams FC in Ghana, went on to Augsburg. Then he had that big money move to Chelsea in 2015. But that Chelsea move did not go as planned, as he suffered some setbacks with an injury that almost ended his football career. But he's found solace, he's found a new home in Greece, as he now plays for PAOK. Since 2023, he's not been with the Black Stars. He's made 74 appearances for the national team. 52 appearances for the national team. Scored 1 goal in the process. And he's back with the team. He has about some 5 minutes to warm himself back into the national team. A good welcome for Abdul Baba Rahman.
Yeah, after 3 years, I think it's best to probably ease him back into the national team setup. And as I said, if you're probably combining all the caps of the players on the pitch, they wouldn't get to what Baba has. He has, I think, more than 50.
Yeah, he's played 52 times for the Black Stars and scored 1 goal in the process.
No one is close to that. On the
Taking the armband in place of Gideon Mensah. Clearly, we have an idea of how our left back competition would be. 2 players are fighting for that, Gideon and Baba. Too much force from Kelly results in the foul for Wales, who are still pushing and are hopeful of getting the equalizer, but they have 4 minutes to do so. Ball goes out to Norton Davies, who finds Kumas in there. Sorry, Andrews, who just came on. Ethan Ampedu, formerly of Chelsea, now the captain of this Wales team. Congreve sends in the cross, but again, it's been defended brilliantly by Kelly Brinchi. But Thomas Asante loses out in a very dangerous area.
Yeah, needs to be careful in those central areas.
I mean, you're going to meet some top quality at the World Cup, but it's a pinball in the area of Ghana and ball flies over the crossbar as Davies turn and try to have a dig at goal. His shots flying way off targets. Ghana survive, still leading by a goal to nil with 3 minutes to end. Oko, how important would this win be for Carlos Queiroz ahead of the World Cup?
I think it would be massive. It would be such a confidence booster, especially for a Black Stars team that hasn't won a game in months. It's been about 4 or 5 games since the Black Stars last won a game of football.
Our last 5 games have all ended in a defeat for us. But Ernest Nuamah has brought in some energy. It looks like he's very, very direct. One that is not scared to take on the defenders. He doesn't even look back. Gets the ball and straight he runs at opponents.
It's the pace and tricky and the directness. That's what's been the difference.
Yeah.
In the second half.
Ernest Nuamah, big lad there. One whose ceiling is very high. A lot of people have tipped him to be a core part of the Black Stars and future. So far, so good for him. The World Cup could be a very, very important period for him to regain his form, and this would be his first World Cup because he was not part of the team that played the 2022 World Cup. Again, Wales coming close. A shot across goal. A header there, I think, from Kumas, which came off Ajete, and then Barbara Man had to put it out of touch for a corner kick. So, with about a minute to go, we're still pushing. Congreve with the corner kick there. It's a tussle, but it looks to have come off Ethan Ampedu, and ball. It's a goal kick to Ghana. Huge sigh of relief for the Black Stars.
Once again, the threats from the corner, but they've just failed to make it count. They've never really tested Ashari in the second half. Came close a couple of occasions in the first half, but they've just not managed to get any meaningful chances in that second half. And kudos to you, Carlos Queiroz.
We are doing 5 minutes of added time at the Cardiff City Stadium as Wolves come forward with Ajete stepping in, clearing everything that comes his way this evening. Still very young. One that the handlers of the Black Stars say has a lot to add to his game, and they're hoping that he will grow in confidence and ability as well. We'll send it across. This time it's Abdul Mumin who gets something on the ball. Still coming forward. It's all been Wales in the last 5 minutes. It's open up for Davies. He tries to be intelligent in there. But Ghana losing out on all the 50-50 balls at the moment. It's Wales who are creating all the chances, sending A lot of crosses into the box. With 4 minutes to end proceedings, the Black Stars will need to shut the door completely. And Perdue goes coming forward again. The shot comes in. Benjamin Asare. It looked like they had it covered. Flashes way off the crossbar. And no trouble for the Accra Heart of Oak number 1, who could end up making history at the World Cup by becoming the first locally based goalkeeper to have minutes. 2006, the likes of Jojo, Sami Eje didn't play any part in there. 2010, we had the likes of Aholu and Daniel Eje also didn't get minutes. Then 2014, it was Stephen Adams who was with Diana. Then he also didn't get any minutes. 2022, Kumasi Asante Kotiko's Dan Lad was also there. 2026, we have Benjamin Asare. Can he be the first goalkeeper, locally based goalkeeper, to get minutes at the World Cup? We'll find out in a few days' time. But still, game continuing in earnest here with Wales trying to get the equalizer. That was a beautiful goal. Kumas with a beautiful header connecting from that Nico Williams cross to get the equalizer for Wales with about 2 minutes to end. And Oreku, you talked about the fact that there's been a change in tactics. A lot of crosses are being sent into the box. Kumas has tried several times, and this time he planted the ball beyond goalkeeper Benjamin Asare. Abdul Baba Rahman failing to deal with Nico Williams in there. Nico getting past Baba Rahman and sending in that cross. And Kumas, I mean, there was nothing that goalkeeper Benjamin Asare could do on that occasion. But I think Ajete should have been strong in there.
Yeah, but Kumas is a strong striker. I mentioned earlier how he is very effective in the air, and that had affected Wales' strategy of crossing the ball inside the box. He missed a good opportunity when he crept into the blind side of Jonas Ajete, but this time he made it count.
Ghana coming forward again with a few minutes to end the game. Inaki Williams with that poor pass there to nobody in particular. Alidu Seidu regains possession for Ghana. Ajete opens up to Abdul Mohamed. Mohamed to Baba Rahman. Baba goes back to Abdul Mohamed. Ball with Ajete. He now finds Alidu Seidu. Ghana coming forward again. Alidu sends a long one trying to find Inaki Williams, but a comfortable catch for goalkeeper Dallo. Loss of concentration one time at the back has given Wales an opportunity to level the score, and they are pushing forward with just seconds to end the game. Davies there. Ball back with Andrews. Wales all over with the shots in there, but it was a scarf effort. One that flew way. And that is the end of the game. Referee has blown his whistle. Ghana were just some 2 minutes away from recording their first friendly win in about 6 games. But unfortunately, a lack of concentration at the back allowed Kumas to level the score after Caleb Irenchi had given the Black Stars the lead in the second half. Good exercise for Carlos Queiroz, and we'll be hoping to see or hear what he says about this game at the press conference. 1-1 it ended at the Cardiff City Stadium between Ghana and Wales as the Black Stars head into the 2026 World Cup with their first game on the 17th of June against Panama. But the association says that one more friendly game will be played before that. Jonas Ajete Oreku, I feel he had a good game today.
Yeah, his head is probably down because he thought maybe you could have done better for the goal. But I think overall it's a good performance from the team, good exercise. In the end, the reality is it's Carlos Queiroz' first game in charge, and 1-1 is a fair result. Wales didn't deserve to lose this game as well. And so it's just a friendly at the end of the day. Is a key issue is what teams learn from these friendly games. And I think Ghana will know that they definitely have a lot to learn.
A lot to learn from this game. Ethan Ampedu, captain of Wales there. They are not going to the World Cup. Ghana would be in there. But I'm sure there are valuable lessons that Coach Carlos Queiroz has picked from his first game. Antoine Semenyo wasn't part of today's game. Definitely he would play in our final friendly game before the World Cup proper. But this has been a good exercise for all these players, especially the likes of Baba Rahman, who are making a return to the team. It has given Carlos Queiroz an opportunity to know where the cracks are and where to tighten the knot before the World Cup. My name is Mutale Yakubu. Reku will take over. Sami Battels and a legend, Augustine Ayinfo, would end with you.
And so there you see team captain Jordan Ayew delivering a speech after the friendly match between Wales and Ghana ended 1-1. The Black Stars took the lead in the second half through second half substitute Caleb Irenchi, who scored off his own rebound after Ernest Nyama's initial attempt was saved by goalkeeper Dallo. However, Ghana couldn't hold on to register their first win since October 2025 after conceding a very, very late goal to Louis Kumas in the 93rd minute. And so 1-1 it ends. I think in the end it's a bit disappointing considering the context that Ghana were this close, 2 minutes away from winning their first game in about 8 months.
No, not disappointing at all. We did talk about what the coach might be testing, and one of the things he certainly would have tested is our ability to concentrate and keep the concentration going for the rest of the game. It would have been almost too perfect for Ghana if we had ended up winning this, and I think it would have given us a false sense of security. So that moment where we shrank in too deep and we switched off for just a moment and they took us to the left-hand side, it's a reminder that if you are going to play low block haram football and try to use the pace, you might as well hold your concentration for 90 plus minutes. So I think all in all, it's a valuable lesson that we should take on board as we go along. But for me, the one thing we have from this game is total clarity in terms of how Coach Carlos Queiroz wants to play at the World Cup.
And Augustine, what are your initial reactions? How do you feel?
I don't know if that is the format or the strategy we are going to apply during the World Cup. Because, you see, watch the weekend Champions League final. Arsenal could actually had opened up and worried PSG, but they decided to stay back. Like Sami said, for how long can you do that? It is only when we had Nyama and then Bambunsu in the game that you saw us moving forward. I don't know if that is what the coach is thinking, that we'll conserve, recover, and play counter. But ask yourself, how many teams can you do that against them? This is Wales. They are not a bad side. They were almost like this to the World Cup. Unfortunately, they lost during the playoffs. I think that we need to step up our game. I'm not part of the technical team, and I don't know what format the coach is going to apply, but we need to up our game. Jonathan Ajete, he played well, but he doesn't have confidence on the ball as a center back. These are areas that we need to actually try to inculcate in him. Let me single out him. He's a solid defender, but that is not all. Modern day football, you need to be confident, you need to have the ball and play. So, kudos to them for not losing, because like I stated before the game started, I didn't want us to lose this much.
Yeah.
I think if we had lost, it would have actually dampened the spirit of the whole team. But There's some positives here.
Well, we'll be taking a critical look at the match. We would have a lot more time for the analysis and review as well. And so you do want to stay with us. I'll be back right after this break. Welcome back from the break. 1-1 it ended at the Cardiff Stadium between the Black Stars and then the Dragons of Wales. Very, very key friendly game for Carlos Queiroz. It was his first test since being named as Black Stars coach. Let's talk about the first goal. Second half started, the Black Stars grew much more into the game. We saw, an avenue of changes coming in at halftime. Thomas Partey, we expected that one. However, the likes of Bonsuba, Ernest Nuama, Kwesi Sibo, that first cohort of changes really made things tick. And in the end, they were rewarded for the goal when Brandon and Thomas Asante came into the game.
I think there was a bit of understanding between Nuama and then Senaya from the right flank. And then also, if you look at the goal that we scored, Brendan Asante did so well. He recovered the ball before Renchi took the ball and gave to Nuama, and the 1-2 pass before the counter-attack. And what Nuama did well was that he pushed the defenders to create the space for himself. He should have scored by himself. You see, that is a goal. You see. Unfortunately, he couldn't score. Renchi followed it up, not one, but the second time, and he scored. So, I mean, I don't know if that is what the coach wants us to do. Conserve, recover, and play counter.
I think that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, but how many of our players are that quick?
Well,
Don't forget that the teams that we're going to play, England, Croatia, are very experienced teams.
at the point at which the goal was scored, there were 5 Ghanaian players
Up front.
in or around the 18
area,
yard
yeah.
box. But you should check the pace of the transition. For me, that was what was crucial.
Yes.
I think the goal came at just the right time, opportune time, where the changes had been made. These guys had brought a lot of pace. Wales, it was more of the same. Wales were in control of the game, so they were quite comfortable.
Yes.
And then you hit them on the break. If it was a previous set of players, now look at the transitions from the wings to the middle. We have 4 players actually in the box, with Jordan just outside the box. Now come back to the Jordan situation once more. Jordan could not keep up with them.
Yeah.
He could not keep up with the pace.
In fact, let's take a look at
of
the
the
start
transition.
from where we see the ball being won by Thomas Asante.
I think Jordan was even ahead.
Because Bartels makes a very interesting point.
Jordan was ahead.
At this point,
but all the young guys came to pass him.
at the point the ball was retrieved, Jordan is actually the farthest in front.
Yeah. Most advanced
And as
player.
a striker, I
should be in
think
the area.
it's a bit of an indictment if at this stage of play you're outside the box.
Yeah. And I think this is why the coach is called, the players he's called, especially on the wings. But to be able to do this requires a certain level of understanding that the first batch of players did not have. And you have spoken about the Ishaku matter. Yeah. It's not an indictment on Ishaku, but I wonder what judgment call he would have made if he had the ball.
That ball.
Because typically, and we saw that on at least one occasion in the first half, his immediate goal is to cut in and shoot. And we've seen him score brilliant goals. One of some of the most brilliant goals for Leicester. And he scored, 9 goals with 7 assists. So he has a few. But the presence of mind to realize that we have the numbers and I'm better off pushing the ball to the guy who is advancing, which is exactly what happened. I think Nuama should have been the one to score the goal. And I think this is the template that Carlos Queiroz would want to work on. The only problem is how deep you sit up to the point where you get the chances. Yeah. And Wales is not England. No. The chances we considered in the first half would have been punished by a higher level team. But I'm sure he would refine the system. But ultimately, for me, this football, this low block transitions is how he's going to play. He can only refine it, but it's quite certain. He told us at the press conference that there's no defensive coach or offensive coach, and that we attack together, which is what happened. And we defend together, which is exactly what you saw on the pitch. And he wasn't disguising how he would play.
But for how long can you defend? For how long? You see, we talk about Arsenal. Let me go back once again. Arsenal. And I watched them play against Paris Saint-Germain. I was like, what is going on? You see, just open up a bit. You can't let your players run wanting to hold the ball. Ben Kofi will tell you that the best way to defend is to be in possession of the ball. When you say the best way to defend is to, no, it's not like, the best way to defend is to be in possession of the ball. Not like this. Well, so you have teams there who will punish you for playing this way.
I mean, it's always a risk when you, but that's
and
why
our goalkeeper, especially, the goalkeeper coach should be speaking to you because he's found wanting each time there is a cross in the area.
His judgment.
His judgment of coming out. I think he has to be spoken to explain to him that you don't just come out.
And he didn't see.
He comes out and you see that he's lost in the game. So he has to be spoken to. He has to be spoken to the way he comes out. If he's going to be our number one at the World Cup, he has to be spoken to in the areas. Whenever there is because he seemed not to know where he's standing at any cross.
With how he gave both goalkeepers 45 minutes each, was it almost like a head-to-head race now?
It is
for the number one
slot. My analysis of the situation. This looks too similar to the Olele versus Sami Eje situation. Sami Eje came into the 2006 World Cup as the number one, undisputed number one. For 4 years between Mali and 2006, he had held us. But as people with the camp mentioned, it appeared as if when Olele walked into the camp, or things began to shift, he suddenly lost control
of himself.
And I see some of that. And look, I've seen the PR and all, but he just needs to show his worth on the pitch, which is Benjamin. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to show that you are the number one. Just do the basic things. Unfortunately for him as well, this ongoing issue of playing from the back and the confidence he gives defenders becomes an issue. Because when we check both halves, quite clearly, Ziggy is a guy who is most confident playing from the back. And then he made those two amazing saves. When you play back the Wales game, although Baba gave the ball away and the defense could have done better, I would check the positioning by Asari and wonder if he could have done better. So for me, it was a head-to-head. He's, we call him clean sheet Asari, right? He's conceded. If I was a coach watching, I would think that Ziggy played under more pressure in that first half.
Yeah, I think we also better.
And he came out smelling of roses the way he did. And so on a head-to-head, he would have come out better. And if you are going to play this way, he's the sort of goalkeeper you would want in there to ensure that you play out of the back. Also because you have two centre-backs who are not exactly giving you a lot of confidence in their ability to initiate attack with their first balls. Yeah. So you would want a keeper-sweeper. And somebody, because when you move out of deep-lying defense to attack, the first ball is always important. Yeah. The ball that takes you out of the attack or takes you over your opponents for their pressing is extremely important. And that's what we are seeing with that. But, yes, so look, on a head-to-head basis, to answer your question, I think Ziggy came out much better. And I would urge Benjamin Asari and whoever is close to him to calm down. If you know you are the number one and you are defending your position, you don't have to do anything extraordinary. Just do the basic things. There was at least one corner that came in and he was flapping at the ball.
Yeah.
He wasn't too sure whether he should go for the ball or remain. Ultimately, when the ball came, he was caught behind a Welsh player. And if that ball had been headed, he would have found himself in no man's land because his view was being blocked. So you have to decide, even before the ball comes, what I want to do. And I don't want to believe that, like the Sami Eje situation, he's having a crisis of confidence because of the competition and the fact that there's no clear path to number one when we play against Panama.
I don't think that that should be the issue at all. Because, one, Ziggy has been with him over.
It's like a new
keeper. So it's not something new. He has to be spoken to. He has to know where to come out and when not to come out. And like you stated, rightly, look at the way Ampadu played. As a midfielder, holding midfielder, he was so confident with the ball. He was dictating the pace of the game for the Welsh team. Yeah. And you come back to our side and you ask yourself that, who is going to do that for us during the World Cup?
Okay, so the coach has a big decision to make.
He has to.
And I use the Brazil example again. We saw Casemiro and we saw Guimarães. But they actually played better when the younger guys came on. Yeah. So the coach has to decide. Partey is my most experienced player, but he's off pace at the moment. And we saw that in the first half. He was off pace. Could have been sent off if this was a competitive
Can we bring Partey backwards? Because the first half, what's his name? Elisha Owusu was more
and
like
Partey was
a
the more advanced eight.
So if Partey is on, bring him back and find somebody apart from Elisha Owusu to be
But
there.
at the start of a World Cup, you would want a Partey for all his experience. But then it means something has to happen, or you pair him with a guy who compensates for his lack of pace.
Exactly what I'm saying.
And then makes him come up.
Exactly what I'm saying.
But that having said, I think I was impressed by the discipline. When we're defending, you could see the two bands. And you could tell that they are drummed into the players the way they have to play. And if the coach was testing the ability of the boys to be resilient, remain positionally disciplined, I think we did show glimpses of that, which is positive for us.
Friendlies are for learning. I just want to ask you, if you're Carlos Queiroz in the technical team, what's the one thing that you have seen and learned from this team? It could be a player that has come in that okay, I'm going to give this guy more chances, or this guy is not ready, or maybe I'll switch a formation or play this guy from the right or left. What's the one thing that you've definitely learned from
I think I'll definitely start Newman. Newman will play. Definitely.
Would you want to start him, especially because he's coming back from a season where he hasn't played?
He's shown that he hasn't played enough, but then he's recovered and recovered well. Probably he took his time, played some games with the junior team of Lyon to get himself that match fitness, and then I saw him come on one of their matches before the season ended, and the whole stadium went to receive him well. So I would definitely start him from that position, and possibly look whether I can play Bambonsu on the left, because Bambonsu is also very good from the right when Nyama is playing. But Nyama is excellent with the ball. So what do I do? The coach's instructions before our first game should be the key. It's either we are going to conserve like we did, get the ball and hit Nyama to go up front. Or probably ask him not to come back so much. You be up there. So we'll get the ball and hit you, and then we'll see the counter. Okay. These are things that if I were the coach, I would do.
Just before we wrap up, Sami.
Whatever they were doing in boot camp, in terms of drilling them into a unit, which is what Queiroz's hallmark is, seems to be working. But then the revelation for me today is that the experimentation on the right side is over. Senna is him going into this game. For me, it sorts out the right back that has been troublesome.
All right, thank you very much, Sami Vatellos and then Augustine Ahemfo for joining us here on our live coverage of the game between Wales and Ghana that ended 1-1. This is how we wrap it up. My name is Ore Kwampofo, and also thanks to you at home for watching and the production team. Remember that we'll be doing a lot more of this, especially as the World Cup comes around. And so do keep your eyes open and your ears open as well, because we would be your home of the 2026 World Cup as well.